napping after the age of 2 could lead to major sleep issues later in life. So how do you make sure your children get enough sleep without naps? Clayton Morris is here with that interview.
That's right, and I just woke up from my nap. Thank you, Tucker. Here with tips on this is pediatrician Dr. Isla Miller-Wegman. She's joining us in the studio this morning. Nice to see you this morning.
Happy
it's a controversial study that came out this week. So what is the breakdown of this story? After 2, no more naps because you're going to screw your kids up later in life? I don't buy this.
So this study was a meta-analysis. It reviewed 26 other independent studies about napping in children ages 0 through 5. And what it showed was that children above the age of 2 may not need that daily nap. And it showed that overall it prolonged the time that they had to go to sleep. So their bedtime was later. The sleep that they had overnight was shorter in duration. And the overall quality was not as good as it would have been otherwise.
And so what? Then when they turn 18, they become criminals? Is that this? But you disagree with this. I mean, you have some problems with it.
I do have some problems with the study. I think the most important thing to know is that this study was really based on parental subjective data. So they did not use polysomnography or sleep studies in order to gather their data. So I really recommend talking to your pediatrician and coming up with a sleep plan that optimizes your child's overnight bedtime sleep and, working with them to see if they do need a nap during the daytime.
And it's so important, the sleep training for your kids. Oftentimes parents just say, my 5-month-old, he doesn't nap. He doesn't nap. Well, it's not the kid's choice. You're the parent. You need to do these things. You've got some great tips here. You start off by saying nixing the nap. Nix the nap. What do you mean by that?
So especially children above the age of 5 years, a nap is not necessary in order for them to perform well in school and function well during the daytime. So if your child is, a teenager and they're taking a lot of, an hour or 2 nap during the daytime, this may actually affect when they go to sleep at night and their overall school performance the next day.
Yeah, if they have to get up at 7 a.m. and they're not going to bed till 3 in the morning, that could be a problem.
Absolutely.
Rely on routine. So important.
So important. Coming up with a bedtime routine is crucial. This really enables your child's internal sleep clock to sort of know when to power down and when to relax. So it's really crucial to come up with a routine for your child and not really give in to their demands. I recommend sort of dimming the lights, powering down, reading a book, and having your child choose between several different options just because this gives them a little bit of ownership over their routine. So it gives them a little bit of a feeling of independence.
You also mentioned temperature balance. Of course, this is an age-old fight that my wife and I fight back and forth about the temperature in the room. She's like, it's too cold in there, I'm not going to sleep well. Well, apparently she might be right, because you want to keep the room between, 68 and 70 degrees?
Yeah, so my ideal temperature that I recommend to parents is around 68 degrees Fahrenheit, plus or minus a degree or 2 in either direction. It's really important that our core temperature is not too warm, because then our body has difficulties falling asleep. And it's especially crucial in the winter now that there's frigid temperatures across the country, that we make sure we don't overly swaddle and overbundle our children, because this can certainly prevent them from falling asleep.
And then finally, beat the boogeyman. Yeah. What do you mean by this?
So, a lot of children, it's very common that they have fears surrounding bedtime. One of the most common fears is a fear of the dark and also fear of monsters or boogeymen.
Right.
So, I really recommend reassuring parents for parents to reassure their children that, their fears are, something that they need to get past, and not sort of joking around about them, sympathizing with them as best as possible. And if that doesn't work, I love the idea of taking a simple air freshener and coming up with a creative label like Monster Spray, and giving a few puffs around the room just before bedtime to just make sure that they feel even more safeguarded.
Yeah, or like my son with his Batman light.
Yeah.
I say, Batman's watching over you. You got the bat signal here. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Dr. Wegman, great seeing you this morning.
Great to be here.